The ability to avoid or deter predators is necessary for life. This fairly complex behavior is taken for granted by most humans because it seems so simple. However, without it, organisms would likely become prey very early on in life. Animal behaviorists study the act of predator avoidance thoroughly, not only to understand the animals currently being monitored, but to also give insight on how different avoidance behaviors can develop and how they can be applied to human behavior as well. There are four main levels of analysis when it comes to animal behavior according to Tinbergen. These levels of analysis are causation, or why this behavior is taking place, development, or how the behavior can develop from learning or early life control, evolution, how the behavior could have been inherited throughout time, and finally function, what the current fitness advantage the behavior gives the organism. We will look at the pigeon's escape response using all four levels and discuss various hypotheses as to why the behavior is developed. Analyzing from a causation perspective, it is easy to see why a pigeon would want to fly away when approached. Fleeing will increase the distance between the bird and the predator, allowing it to live longer. Once a pigeon sees a danger, it will determine if it will fly away or merely walk away. Depending on the level of danger the predator brings, the pigeon can fly only a few feet or hundreds of feet away. According to Lima, mourning doves will crash purposely into the ground in order to rapidly change direction when attempting to escape a Cooper's hawk. Pigeons rely on their powerful flight muscles to maneuver away and possibly outpace their predator in the air. How could this behavior develop? Hilton et al. Show that in flocks, birds take longer to fully take flight than individually. They explain this by detailing that birds in large flocks do not have to respond as quickly because they are protected by an increased approach time by the predator. This tells us that the escape response is affected by the social aspect of the birds. If a bird is raised in a smaller flock, its response will be much quicker once a predator is sighted because it is now a much higher percentage of the overall flock. The predator can reach it more quickly because there is not as many birds to dilute it. Why did this behavior evolve in these birds? Without the ability to fight off predators, the birds would simply try and escape. The fastest and more agile bird would be the one to likely escape. Therefore, speed and predator recognition would increase the fitness of the bird over time. And indeed, Gibson confirms, it is however possible to say, from the result of this experiment, escape rather than toxicity can afford potential prey a considerable degree of protection by frustrating a predator's efforts to catch it, thus wasting its time and energy. How does this increase the fitness of pigeons in the current day, though? The ability to detect and determine the presence of danger has developed over an extensive period of time. A pigeon's whole body works together to detect danger as soon as possible, and once it does, flee as fast as possible. Research done on pigeons has shown an effort by the whole body to escape predators. Sun and Frost write, indeed, it was found that RT-looming neurons' responses were followed by a sharp increase in EMG activity of the pigeon's major flight muscles and also heart rate, both of which are associated with natural defensive responses such as escape and avoidance behavior. The birds have developed a system which wastes little and allows for the greatest fitness when attempting to escape predators. In class, we discussed anti-predator defenses. One of these defenses we discussed was behavioral defenses. Among these behaviors was one that defined the escape response of pigeons the best. Fleeing is a behavior where the organism will run away. Instead of escaping the predator by defending itself with toxins or camouflage, the bird will simply fly away. Along with this behavior, the bird also shows two other behavioral defenses, group living and cooperative defense. While individual pigeons do fly away on their own, in a flock the behavior is varied slightly. In a flock, the birds will not react quite as fast because they are merely a part of the entire group. Unrelated members are just as likely to be picked off by the predator, and therefore the urgency of escape is not as great. This is also related to cooperative defense because the group escapes as a whole. No individual will remain, increasing the amount of confusion and distraction the predator encounters. This confusion allows more individuals to escape and therefore live. The escape behavior increases fitness of the individual as well as the group and is beneficial for the survival of Columba livia domestica as a species.